man.
He's in a mood today, you guys.
I'm always in a mood. One way or the other, I'm always in a mood.
Yeah,
It's
I
because I have
know.
to do with
Perfect
you
day to
half
come
the
in.
time.
Facts.
So you brought notes in today, which
Well, I just-
now
I didn't bring the notes. I send these to you twice, by the way. So if you didn't print this out, that's on you.
I didn't get them. What are they?
Is
Is this what is this?
the prologue, dude?
The prologue. Oh, the prologue to the book.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. I was like, hold on. I was like, I'm so
I send these to you
confused.
twice.
I didn't get this. I did not see this.
It's okay.
All right. Well,
I didn't bring notes. I just brought the prologue.
just brought the prologue. Got it. Got it. Now I understand. Well, now that we know we're talking about a book today, whose book are we talking about here, Omar? Who we got who's in the studio with us?
Void in the room, man. So I just wanted to, first of all, just thank you for coming on, and then talk about the book that you're writing, and then talk about your story
Found out about
that
it.
he
That I
just found out about.
well,
right?
I've known about it, but I
Yeah.
didn't know
we
that
talked
there was
about it.
Yeah.
We did talk about it, and so, but you and I, you work out at the gym, so at OTH, and so you and I have had extended conversation. I uploaded Jeff on those conversations and be like, "Hey, man, I think we should talk to Guy on the podcast about his book." And so, we like to do this thing where we give everybody like 20, 30-second elevator pitch
Okay.
of what.
Okay, what would keep people listening to the conversation?
what would keep
what
people
really want to know about you right now in 30 seconds to be like, oh, I need to know more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make up a 30-second pitch right now. But
Go.
Yeah,
We usually don't tell people because we like to see what people come up with on
I think I
site,
got
right?
some because basically, I just had a birthday on May 27th, pretty recent. Turned 61. When I was in 2016, when I was turning 51, as the clock hit midnight and I turned 51, I was in the middle of the Widowmaker heart attack. So basically, the birthday present that was given to me on my 51st birthday was the Widowmaker heart attack, and it basically I had 100% blockage, and it was 100% blocked for almost 4 hours, which is incredible. Most people die or have severe heart damage. I didn't. There's reasons for that. I basically had to find out why, what to do, and thank God that I got through it. And what I found out was I had to find out for myself. I didn't really get answers too easy. So yeah, it's kind of like that's the event that's leading to here. But then a book came out of that too, and the book came out of it for reasons I didn't realize at first, which we could get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here I am 10 years later with a book about the whole experience, and that's kind of the pitch, I guess.
Now you know.
4 hours blocked.
Yeah,
I
know.
knew that. I knew you had that, but 4 hours. I mean, what's the average?
Well,
Because like you said, 4 hours, you should be dead pretty much. I
Yeah,
mean,
or your heart should be fairly functional or something.
the fact that you just celebrate your birthday, and then when I read the prologue, I was like, man, he just had his birthday. So his birthday is so significant. We always do a celebratory like post and like send you guys a text message and do all the things. But now every time I'm gonna send yours, man, I'm gonna be like, this is something different, man. This is congratulations. We're not giving you a stroke or a heart attack.
Yeah.
For your birthday, dude. That's rough, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy to hear that. But in your prologue, you talked about this for a little bit where you were like, hey, dude, like you called, you were like maybe 10, 15 minutes because he's having a freaking full-on stroke. And 3.5 hours later,
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't show up, right?
the crazy thing, I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh, thank God you're in the hospital. Well, I won't name the hospital because since I'm undamaged, I don't need to do legal things but
Yeah.
I was like,
But you do mention it
Yeah. I mean, I was,
If you want to know, just read the book.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what comes out.
but I was very clear when it started. It was
yeah.
obvious, and the nurse confirmed it. And it's actually right. Jimmy Fallon was doing his monologue, so that's why it was before midnight. And I have a DVD. It's really cool. When they went in and opened it up, it was like around 3:30, 3:40, and you could see I have an image of it completely blocked, and then so you could tell it was 100% blocked for sure. They said that, but it's clear from the image, and then right after 2 stints after it's opened up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like do the math. That's almost 4 hours. So.
Right. But like, I want to know why. I mean, obviously, this is very traumatic. This is very like you felt like you were going to die on your 54th birthday, right? But what's the and I've read the prologue, and not everybody has, and not everybody in our audience is not. Jeff obviously has not, but
I like to, keep it random sometimes.
It's good to get an impression from someone new to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But why the book? What was your motivation to write the book and the passion behind it?
So that's actually real interesting because it was only recently that I did it, and originally,
What's recent? Like when did you decide?
What's the name of the book first? Let's start with
Widowmaker to Warrior.
Got it.
Yeah, and so I'd say 6 months ago, if that.
Okay.
And what happened? Well, for the last 10 years, I've been researching the heck out of a lot of stuff: cholesterol, statins, nutrition, everything, because I just didn't want this to happen to me. So, and I do have a degree in microbiology and minor in chemistry from my bachelor's. So I have a pretty good science background. So tons of research, So and then my friends and family, they kind of know, and I try not to be Mr. Nutrition is almost like religion and politics.
Yeah,
it really is.
If you're not keto, you're paleo. If you're not paleo,
people are hardline on what they think. And
100%.
So I kind of backed off on trying to tell everyone my knowledge, but people would call me or friends and family mostly. It's like, I mean, my doctor just said I should take some statins. What do you think? Or stuff like that. And I'm like, I hate to. It took a ton of research for me to get to where I'm at. So how do I give that information in a short synopsis for someone that's not even very scientific? I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and create like a sheet, a PDF of the pertinent information that they can maybe, if they care to, they can read it. And so I did that, and I kept, I better add this, so I can't leave that out. And it became, like 35 pages long and pretty hard to get through, right? I'm like, oops.
You
can say fuck. Sorry, Trudy.
That's exactly.
We saw Trudy's Jeff's mom, and she every time she sees me, she reminds me of how many times I say the word fuck.
Yeah. But you're allowed.
So I apologize every time I say it.
But that was an honest reaction, right? Because you're like,
100%.
Damn. How am I? So basically, I said, you know what? I'm gonna try. I got this idea. My story's pretty interesting that I went through. People might want to be interested. Maybe I can make a story out of it and put the science in there,
right?
As digestible as possible, but try to make it entertaining. And and that's kind of how it happened. And then it took months of. I'm off work right now too, so I have the time.
Yeah.
Right? So I made that my work, and that's how the book, So really, I only planned it maybe 3-4 months ago to actually be a book.
Yeah. And where are you at before we start talking about the book and what's in the book, where are you at in the process of publishing the book and getting it out to the public?
Yeah, actually, I rewrote it many times. I thought I was done. Oh, I'm not done. Finally, I think it's done. But, and I'm consulting with all kinds of stuff, and they're like, well, you've got to make sure it's edited properly, just like even copy edit where the apostrophes and just all the little fine details.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, okay. So I hired an editor to do that, and she was great. She actually gave me some stuff that like a development editor would maybe give you, but I'd already kind of worked that out. You know, you got a story arc. I learned a tremendous amount of stuff about writing a book.
What's your first book?
So yeah, so I got the editing just finished, and I'm working with a cover person now. I designed the cover mostly, but you need to get that. You know, typography's got to be this, and
Yeah.
then they got to give you a bunch of files because I'm going to self-publish on Amazon.
Mm.
So you have to provide a bunch of files for that. So I'm actually to the point where I pretty much can self-publish it, but I sent out some things to some requests to some people that I really respect, hoping I can get some kind of endorsement, a blurb, something. People that I researched and read, and you know, so I'm kind of holding off another week or so. It's been a week. I haven't got any of the major ones yet, which I'm not surprised, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens.
You're not the only author and probably asking for an endorsement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although one of them, I was on his podcast. He's Sean Baker. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah.
He's like the really big in the carnivore world. So I thought he'll probably respond, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, so talk to us about that night. Like, what happened? And other than in the prologue, you talked about like the progression of things and how it went on, and like you first started having just like a one episode, and then like just summarize this a little bit for Jeff.
Can I
Go ahead.
Can I back up just a second?
Mhm.
Like, typically there's always family history and stuff like this. Has any of your family ever had any of the same like heart conditions or anything like that? That you looked at? You could maybe even after the fact that it happened, you look back at it and you're like, oh shit, like, you know, my dad or my grandfather had, like, did you ever notice anything historically in family wise that would bring this back up?
Some, and the thing that's really interesting about when you talk about heart, you know, there's heart failure, there's cardiac arrest, there's heart attacks. You know, all those are kind of different. They can be connected, but my grandfather died of a heart attack. I mean, they didn't have stents and stuff. I would have died just like he died if had they not had what they have now, right? But I know that's my mom's dad. I know for sure he did. I've had other people in the family, more of a heart failure type of situation. I don't think they've actually had a heart attack, because heart attack is you just depriving your heart of oxygen from the blood, right? So it starts dying.
Blockages are primarily right that cause heart
like if
attacks.
You get a blockage, or usually that's what it is.
Yeah.
And but my dad, he died at 49.
Oh.
But he had diabetes, and he was having lots of organ issues. His body was just kind of
from complications of diabetes.
Yeah. So I think his heart actually did fail. I don't know. I doubt it was a heart attack. I think it's just heart failure. If if you get too much arrhythmia or a lot of things like that, you can die instantly. And that's usually what, if you have a Widowmaker, your heart starts dying and the rhythm could get screwed up. You can go to cardiac arrest. So it kind of leads to that often. So luckily it didn't happen to me. But
And just for anybody who is unfamiliar with what a Widowmaker is, give that explanation of something funny for the
I guess we
listeners.
should
that should be the clarification first as we go into the story.
I know it is a very so there's the artery is called the left anterior descending artery, and it basically supplies left side of your anterior front side of your heart, of the major portion of your heart, with its blood supply. And it's so important, and if that one gets blocked, which it often does because of the branching and other reasons, I think more people die than not if they get that type of heart attack, because it just starts destroying your heart so fast that the damage happens and you get cardiac arrest. So, and since because so many people die, they just kind of nicknamed it the Widowmaker. Mostly men get it, I believe. I don't know exact percentages, but I think otherwise it would be the widower maker.
He's got jokes too.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tell us, how'd it go?
Yeah.
What happened?
But that's a good clarification.
Yeah, that's a good clarification. Now that we know what a Widowmaker is.
Yeah. It's like tried and didn't succeed this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, so leading up to that night, because I've given a couple things that are really important. I was in my garage working out at home at that time. I was doing dumbbell thrusters, which you guys are well
Aware of.
aware of.
Jeff's favorite movement, by the
Yeah.
way.
And I was like, yeah,
That he always replaces for push press overhead.
yeah. I don't want to squat anymore. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
He skips the squat portion.
The squat part is the part that sucks more and more.
Yeah.
Exactly. 100%.
I could not
Unless
agree
you do
more.
that
Total
shit.
avoidance, but okay. You were doing thrusters in your gym.
Yeah.
How heavy were the dumbbells? I don't remember. That's what gave me the heart attack.
Yeah. I wish they were really heavy. I don't think they were. Yeah, but no, I was in there alone in my garage, and all of a sudden, I have such a hard time describing the sensation I got because it wasn't the same as when the full-on heart attack hit.
No.
But I got this feeling, you just stop instantly. Feeling of dread, doom. I literally to this day, can't describe it too well, but I just stopped. Oh my God, what is that? What's going on? And I just carefully, came into the house. I think it was morning, no one's around, and I'm just chilled out for a while. And it did go away. And I'm like, what is that?
Was it in the chest? Was it in?
Yeah, it was in the chest, but it wasn't the.
It wasn't like a punch in the chest.
No, it was just like something is really wrong. Stop.
Got it.
That's kind of what it, I mean, it wasn't like, I've heard all kinds of like your arm might feel.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't any of that. I never felt anything but in my chest, even when I had the actual heart attack
Okay.
for me. So, but yeah, so I stopped, and then what did I do after that? I think I might have made an appointment with the cardiologist. And then just I kind of took it easy after that. I was just real scared. Didn't really tell. I don't even want to tell my wife because I'm like, what am I going to tell her? Just, probably should have, but
We're so yeah.
I might die.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if you find
Buried
out
under
more.
some 15-pound dumbbells, you know.
Yeah.
It's not that important of information. It's fine.
I mean, I guess you're kind of in denial a little bit. Like, that can't be. What was that? Like, I don't want to think about it. Well, what was it?
Yeah.
But now I don't want to exercise.
Yeah.
Really, because I'm
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah.
And it wasn't long that I'm trying to think of the sequence of things. I did go to a cardiologist. He asked me a bunch of questions. Had me go up and down stairs. Checked everything. Everything was fine. He gave me triglyceride. The heck, nitric.
Yeah.
Mixing words. Yeah, gave me some nitro pills, and he said if it happens again, take one of these because it opens up the vessels. You could take up to 3 with like a 5-minute thing, pause between them, and if it's still feeling something, then call 911. Basically, okay.
You had in the prologue, you talked about 2 incidences though happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first one, and then I was waiting. We scheduled a stress test. So yeah, just take it easy. We'll get you scheduled. It's not an emergency right now, right? So shortly after that, I was in. I was going to go to the beach at Carlsbad, and I parked in the little lot by the train station. Just a short walk to the beach.
Yeah.
I got over the train, the little wall there, and all of a sudden it happened again. And I'm like, and I don't even think I don't know if I put this in the book that much, but I sat down on the wall. I was looking at, I think it was Senior Grubbies at that point was there, or right across the street from that, and I'm thinking, wow, I think this is where I die. I literally thought, well, maybe I die here. That's interesting.
Looking at Senior Grubby's not the site that I would want to be
Yeah.
looking at.
Carlsbad Boulevard's nice. You kind of see the beach a little bit.
I didn't see the beach.
I would have crawled my ass over to the
I just
beach,
need
bro.
to make it
Yeah.
one more block.
Yeah,
and I'll be-
true.
one more block. Come on, Ticker, you can do it.
I know. Although, of course, I sat down because I'm like, I'm not moving.
Right.
And I waited it out. It went away again, and I really slowly walked back to my car. And then so then we get to the finally the night. I still haven't had my appointment.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to freak out a little bit, and my wife knows at this point, So
You told her about
Yeah.
both incidents or just one?
I don't. Maybe I filled her in at that point of everything.
And she's your ex-wife now, though, right?
Yeah.
We're not getting you in trouble, is what I'm saying.
She's like, you never communicate. You didn't tell me.
Obviously, we understand you got problems with communication, guy.
I don't know if that contributed to that, but a lot of other things did probably.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good.
I know. But so the night of, which is actually the evening before my birthday. It's the 26th of May. I remember I was in the backyard making salmon, which is salmon, heart healthy, right? That's kind of ironic. I'm making heart healthy salmon, and then it didn't hit again. And when I say hit, it's still the same sensation, not the full on yet, but it's like. So I come walking really slowly into the house and sit on the couch. And my wife's like, what's going on? Like, you're feeling that thing again. All right. It's like, so, well, I got the pills. And then, so this is the first time I had the pills. So I didn't have the pills for the Carlsbad
incident.
First time I had the pills. So I took one, waited, didn't go away. Another one, I ended up taking 3, basically. Still feeling like shit. And with my brilliant thinking, that we got hospitals closed. We could call 911, but I'm in a band. My drummer's girlfriend is the head ER nurse at the hospital I won't name. I mean, it's probably okay, but it's not close. It's down in San Diego. I'm in Oceanside, so I call him. I'm like, his name's Slinky. Not his real name, but that's
total. That's his legal name, by the way.
And that's a whole story. I said, Slinky, man, is Lisa working? Like, what's up? Well, I think I need to come in. And I told him, he's like, she wasn't working, but she said, yeah, I'll come in. You should call 911. I said, no, we'll drive down there, and we'll have everything ready. So my wife drove me all the way down there. Took, less than an hour, but close to an hour. But by the time I got there, of course, it had gone away, feeling. So I'm like, okay, cool. They'll check me out now, and they did. They took me right into the ER, waiting for me. And I guess I didn't have troponin showing up yet, which definitely that's an enzyme that when your heart starts breaking down or getting injured, you'll get a rise in that enzyme.
Like beginning of heart attack or distress to the heart.
Yeah,
is what that enzyme will populate. That's the first thing they know. It's like not the X-ray. It's not anything else. It's not your heart rate. It's not an EKG identifies the abnormality, but the troponin was like, oh, there's something fucking going down.
When they know,
something going down.
Which I find interesting because, like, well, what has been happening so far that's not causing troponin, but it's causing
pain.
Something. Like, that's interesting. But they like, okay, took hours. And they're like, we're going to put you in a room. Tomorrow we'll give you the stress test and see what's going on. And finally, my wife's like, yeah, go home. I'm cool. I'm in the hospital.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm up in the room by myself watching Jimmy Fallon, and then it hit.
What hit?
It was like, it did feel like there was a guy in there with a vice clamp on my heart. It was so painful. It was not like what I felt before. It was like, it's kind of like you're just like this, There's nothing
very
you can
uncomfortable.
do.
Was it like the worst cramp in the chest ever?
Yeah, I guess it's like when your hamstring cramps.
Yeah.
Imagine your heart doing something similar.
No, thank you.
And it's your heart. Yeah. It's like it's your heart. Like, I'm gonna die. And so the nurse, I'm like,
but on the scale of 1 to 10 from the previous 2 incidences, where was this at?
You know what? I'm gonna give you the same answer the nurse when she asked me with my pain, because I'm always a joker. I can't help it. I was thinking of, I don't know if you guys saw Spinal Tap.
Mm-hmm.
because I said it goes to 11. That's what I said. I'm like,
He's still fucking joking, dude.
I
He's
know.
having a fucking full-on heart attack. I'm sorry.
I did. I'm like, it goes to 11 with the English accent.
Yeah.
This is why. Okay, go ahead.
She had
I'll
no-
let you finish.
She had
but
no
yeah.
clue. Now she's
She had no
I'm
clue.
losing it too.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't explain that joke now. But I'm like, and I asked her. I said, am I having a heart attack? She goes, yeah, you're having. I mean, I knew I was, but I just confirmed it.
Yeah.
So it's like roughly midnight now, and I'm in the throes of the Widowmaker. The people they're coming in and out. At one point, they gave me more nitro, and I temporarily passed out because of the lack of blood pressure.
Mm.
And I thought I was dying. I felt myself going, I'm dying. And then I wake up, and she's like kind of holding me from falling off the bed. You know, like, oh, okay, I just passed out. But it was such a surreal time at that point because they're doing stuff, and they're paging somebody. The guy should have been there within like 40 minutes. Took over 3 hours.
The
So,
doctor.
yeah,
It's crazy.
because nothing they did unblocked my heart at that point.
Yeah.
You know, and then at one point I was like, because I have the cousin I was real close to that got killed in Afghanistan, and I'm like, I was thinking, am I going to see the white light? I wonder if it'll be Nick going to come, or will it be my dad? I was literally thinking these things like, will I see the light? 'Cause surely I'm going to die. This can't go on like this.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of shocked I was still alive at that point because it hurt so bad. I'm like, wow. And then at one point, I want to tell my family, but
You're alone.
yeah, I mean they're in and out, but I'm not even talking too much to them anymore. That I don't know what's going on, and so I had my cell phone. I started one by one calling my family, and it's pretty late now. I'm getting everyone's voicemail.
Yeah.
And I went
in the
through-
in the prologue. It sounds so much more dramatic, bro. But go ahead.
No, well, no, it was very. I mean, imagine but it's also I'm almost laughing. It's
Yeah.
just like I'm getting voicemails. I'm like dying, and I'm getting voicemails.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
right? And then finally, my son on my second try with his, he answers. I'm like, yeah, you get mom on the phone, you know?
At this point, your kids are all living in your home.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is 10 years ago, so
Yeah.
they're still all there, and and she got on the phone. Of course, she knows what's going on. I didn't tell her, but I said, you should come. Are you having a heart attack? Well, just come.
Just come. So you didn't tell her.
No,
Okay.
but she knew, and
Yeah.
so I mean that was my experience. It was kind of like a mixture of surely I'm dying. I can't believe how much this hurts. There's nothing I could do. And what's going on with the nurse? Like, where's the guy?
Where's the guy? Where's the doctor?
Where's the
Where's the
guy?
doctor?
So I guess as you said, it's kind of a surreal moment in this point in time where there's all these different, I can only imagine all these different emotions happening as you're saying, like
Oh, 100.
you're trying to walk yourself through the fact that you're actually dying
Mm-hmm.
right now, but yet you are still in that zone of, I need to call my, like, at least had that with it to be like, I need to call my family, but yet where the fuck is this doctor? I'm actually in a hospital. Where's this guy at?
Yeah.
Like
So-
they admit you so that a doctor can supervise you, right?
So to me, I'm kind of taken aback and like how much you are trying to navigate everything with what's going on. Plus, you're dealing with the pain, like you said, of like this cramp in your heart. And I kudos, man. That's Jesus.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, because you're saying like, am I gonna see my dad? Am I gonna see who am I gonna see when I see the light? Type of thing.
Mhm.
And it's like, to me, I couldn't even put myself into that point right now.
Yeah, it's like the reality of that's where the surrealness comes in. It's
Yeah.
like the reality of the situation is so grave, and yet I'm like, I have things I should do, like call people. And well, I might as well do that, And hey, can you guys tell me anything? I'm
Yeah.
like,
The only thing that would have added a little bit more onto that is it would have been like, oh yeah, I forgot to pay this. I need to pay this really quick before I pass away. I need
I wasn't too worried about bills at that point.
I need to do one more thing before I
Right. Yeah. I
I
forgot to pay my AT&T bill. Maybe that's not why. Maybe that's why they're not
maybe that's why they're
answering.
not answering. I need to pay my AT&T bill.
Yeah, I wasn't quite that detached.
Ironically, we're joking about this shit,
Yeah.
but that is the reason why I jokingly tell my Suzette, I'm like, I'm taking you off my emergency contact list. And she's like, why? Because you never fucking answer your phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that did go through my head a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know it's
yeah,
late.
Yeah.
like your situation is unique, bro, because you're like your entire family knows that you're in the hospital. Like
I was
you would
dropped
think
off
they
at
would
the
fucking
hospital.
answer
Yeah.
the phone, right?
And I had chest pains earlier that night
Yeah.
that you all saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been so pissed.
A little disappointed at that point.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's where I am. I find I'm a very, I guess dark humor is a big part of me because
Yeah.
I was almost laughing at the whole situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, been in the hospital trying to call everyone. No one's picking up the phone.
I'm dying alone.
You guys know
Like,
where I am, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
Did you have that thought? Like, hey, here I am. I'm calling everybody. Like, I may die alone.
Yeah. I totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing I had on Carlsbad Boulevard. Like,
Right.
And I'm like, you're almost like, well, what the fuck? Something's got to change. Like, why am I sitting here hour after hour and nothing's changing, either for the best or worse?
Right.
It's like, doesn't make sense that I'm in a hospital,
Mm.
but really they need to either do a bypass or a stents, and the
Right.
guy that needs to do that is not there for a
Yeah.
long time, and
He was sleeping, bro.
that's a part of my story. I've talked to people. I don't get too much into it, but when I was thinking about it, I started getting pretty pissed about it. But just to jump forward, they said the heart damage is probably only about 5%,
Mm.
and then I even heard after that maybe not even that. So I got extremely lucky, and I could tell you why. Pretty sure I know why for sure, but pretty sure for sure. But yeah, it's like the fact that I ended up okay, just let it go. But it still perturbs me
Yeah.
to this day because it could have gone so much different. And thank God it didn't. But yeah, because when he finally came, well, my wife got there before he did. Seriously.
This is dude, that's the part when I read it, I was like,
What?
the wife and the kids got there before the
the
doctor
doctor?
got there. He's
Yeah.
in the hospital to
Yeah.
go be monitored by, bro.
Oh man.
And that is absolutely true.
I was like, this is some shit. I was jumping through the pages when I read that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then in his bedside manner was awesome because he gets there and he's talking to my wife. He's like, I'm hearing we may need to crack him open.
Yeah.
I mean, I already figured that's probably a possibility, but just awesome hearing that from, casually, we may need to crack him open. Just laying right here.
Yeah.
Speak to me.
Just knock me out then first and don't even tell me.
Yeah.
do
Just
what
do
you
it.
need-
Yeah,
Do what you need to do. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so once he got there, they put me in a gurney. And this is funny too, because there was a little bit of construction going on one of the elevators.
Okay.
It literally didn't fit the gurney. So they tried to get me into that one first. I hit the wall.
Oh Jesus.
I see the gurney sticking out of the elevator. And I did say, like in the book, very true. I said, what is this, Keystone Hospital? Like the Keystone Cop.
Ooh.
So I'm still making jokes. And they put me in the other one and got me down, got me in the lab. And there's a cardio tech that starts talking to you. And it's cool because my son is actually one of those now.
He's a cardio tech.
He's since become a cardiac sonographer.
Okay.
So he's kind of like, so this guy that was working with me, not the doctor, but kind of talking to me, is kind of like the role that my son sort of does now, which is just a cool after thing, right?
Right.
In fact, my son's been in that lab on the good side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he decide to go down that career path because of what happened to you?
I don't know. I don't know if that was that might have been. He didn't say that he did, but It's yeah. And the cool thing is they have just a little side note. Uh, the college, Grossmont College, has a great program for that. And of course, it's not that expensive being a junior college, but he had to wait 3 years just to get into it. But they're very respected. They have a good relationship with all the hospitals. So it was a great move on his part, and now he's working.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was in there, and this guy's talking to me, trying to keep things normal. And I know what's going on, like psychology, like yeah. And I realized they're not going to numb me or do anything. And the guy, luckily, didn't go through the groin. He put this thing through here, but started feeding up the.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
It's
whoa,
angio.
What?
Arm. Yeah.
They do it while you're awake.
While you're having a heart attack too.
How
And
painful was that?
Oh well, when it got here,
Yeah.
I can't. There's not a range adequate enough to tell you how much pain. It jumped in pain. I thought I was feeling the worst pain in my chest I could. It significantly jumped at that point, and I was like, "How am I not passing out?"
Right.
Like, damn,
Yeah.
I must be kind of a badass because I'm still awake talking to this guy. I'm like, it hurts so bad.
At least
Yeah.
you know where your pain tolerance is.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad, but he got it into the spot, and he ended up putting 2 stents. And the cool thing is, it's all on DVD. I asked for it later. They
Yeah.
don't offer it, but I said, "Do you have the DVD of that?" And I have it. But yeah, once it opened up, it took a little bit, but all of a sudden I started feeling relief,
Mm.
and that was like so nice. 4 hours later, I'm getting a little relief from
Yeah.
my heart attack.
So what was after all this craziness happening, you get in there? How long were you in the hospital for after that?
Only 2 more nights, I
Okay.
think. So they put me in the ICU, and my heart was dancing that night.
It was like, thank you for all this new blood and oxygen.
Well, but also like almost going arrhythmic.
Mm.
In fact, one time I was feeling a bunch of weird stuff, and I see my thing like going crazy, and a bunch of doctors ran in checking on me. So they probably thought I was going to cardiac arrest. I probably got close to it, but I didn't. I'm like, "Oh, what's up? You guys all run in here? Am I okay?"
Yeah.
It takes the first doctor 4 hours. It takes the other doctors a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're
Now they're on it.
Now they
because,
get it.
yeah. They're overcompensating.
exactly. Because I guess when you do something like that, obviously it is very iffy the first night. You got to definitely watch people, and my heart was going through a lot, but it made it through, and yeah. So the next day, I might have been in ICU one more night, and then they put me in a regular room.
Mhm.
But after that, I went home and went back to work almost immediately. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I was we were like a one income family, and this
There's
crazy. That's probably why maybe that's why I had the heart attack. Is there's a lot of volatility in the software engineering stuff that I was doing. A lot of layoffs here, changing industries, and to the day I finished, I guess.
Yeah.
So always a little stressful. But yeah, I just had to get right back into it.
Mm. Somebody sent me something the other day, and it was like the health of some professions. One of them scared the shit out of me. One of them's gym owners.
Is what?
Gym owners.
Oh yeah.
People that own gyms are also some of the most healthiest, unhealthiest individuals. And it was like, it didn't matter. Like they had a couple, they were saying in the article, it was like some gym owners, some first responders, some people would have extreme entrepreneurs in general,
Mm-hmm.
that have extreme stress, even though their diets are great and they work out regularly. The stress is what gave them usually kills them. And I was like, good Lord, I need to do something quick. But yeah. So I mean, you can talk about stress when it comes to being in your work environment, and then it could be, you eat normal, you're doing thrusters, and you're doing working out, and you're still having freaking Widowmaker.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of creepy. So after all of this is done, what is like you get back to normal? What's
Well, then the research starts,
got it?
and because always been a heavy reader, voracious reader, since I love to read and get information, and I love biochemistry. So this is kind of like right in my lane, and
Mhm.
it happened to me. So, well, actually, I'll back up. The two big questions hit me. First question is, how did I survive without heart damage? Because that didn't make any sense to me.
Permanent heart
Yeah,
damage.
permanent. And the obvious answer became obvious later, but the doctors never really explained it. It was collateral circulation. Your heart that's why working out really is a great thing. I'm
Yeah.
sticking with it, especially because I don't know if you have to have much of a blockage or not, but the more demand for blood with this kind of training, your heart will create little accessory arteries,
Huh.
and if you are getting a blockage, you'll definitely get some. And I've seen lots of
Hmm.
this guy would put a dye in these people that died of a heart attack or whatever a post, and a lot of times you see the blockage on the big artery, but you see all these little tons of them kind of trying to bridge the gap. So your
Mm.
body's amazing in that sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do think that's what saved my life and what saved my heart. I was doing Spartan races, and I've done 13 since that. It was just kind of where the warrior part comes in. I mean, it's a little strong of a word because people actually go out and are actual warriors, but it. But I keep fighting to do these things and not be afraid of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point.
You're a warrior in your own sense.
Yeah.
Guy. I
Yeah.
don't think
I agree.
there's anything to take away from that.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you go through that battle. You're definitely a warrior, man.
Yeah, because what do you do after? Do you take it easy or do you
Exactly.
be
100%.
stubborn and go? Once I decided in my head that that's what saved my life. I was doing like insanity workouts,
Mm.
going to
Yeah.
M-Rock.
Yeah.
For your gym, which is
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
Your gym didn't exist at that
Yeah,
point.
it did not exist, so
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to go.
Yeah,
To
I'm here now.
all of our M-Rock listeners, don't worry, we're not talking smack. We love,
no.
we love M-Rock.
I love both.
We love
the
them
gym.
both. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but
But yeah, so that was a big thing. Like, okay, it was collateral circulation. And by the way, there's a documented case of a runner, it's a woman, who slowly was getting stenosis, closing of an artery, the LAD, but she just kept pushing through. And she said sometimes I'd feel some heart pain, but I don't know. Maybe she didn't go to a doctor. I don't know. She's more stubborn than me. And
hard to believe.
eventually, she completely bypassed the blockage in her LAD naturally.
Her body
Wow.
bypassed the
Yeah.
blockage.
And it's documented. I mean, I don't
Wow.
know the name offhand, but it's and I've seen enough cases of seeing that circulation
Oh.
in the deceased people where the guy, so yeah, so that's a real thing, and it happened. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep working out, but it took a while. There's a moment, a lot of fear, and a couple more ER visits after that, which I can tell you about. But so that was one thing. But then it was like, okay, why did this happen? And that's what led to this tremendous amount of research. And I was a blank slate at that point. Like if someone said you should be a strict vegetarian, you should do this, whatever,
You would have
and
done
it
it.
You're willing to
worked,
listen. To,
I would've
think
done
about
it.
Yeah.
because the utmost, I want to survive. I don't care about bias. I don't care about anything. I
Yeah.
just want to get to the truth.
I'm not trying
Right.
to get polarized or political about my nutritional.
Right, because I don't
behaviors.
care what you guys think.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's about me.
If it's gonna
Yeah.
save
Yeah.
my life, I give two
Yeah.
shits if you think I'm a
Yeah.
keto freak.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
So I did. I gravitated eventually towards more almost like a carnivore diet.
Okay.
And just to summarize, like the science people would glaze over, and a lot of it's in the book, but kind of the biggest things I came out with after years is I suspect seed oils really are pretty bad because of the the double bonds in the fatty acids. We have way more of those polyunsaturated fatty acids in our body than we ever did, and they need to be controlled by antioxidants. And really, our natural antioxidants are the best. And I think they're being overrun, which causes inflammation, oxidation, all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's what I totally believe at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, well, avoid those. There's some people really down on vegetables, but then the next or carbs, and the next day um, they flip flop. I've seen so much crazy stuff,
Yeah.
and so I try to get to the. I mean, I try not to be dogmatic at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Because
smart.
I went down to Costa Rica and met up at this animal based gathering with Dr. Paul Saladino, who you might know. He's really big in the carnivore world.
Mm.
But he was strict carnivore at the time. Went down there, hung out with a bunch of people, very healthy people, and now he's doing fruit and honey.
Mm.
And a lot of people are, so there's all this fighting. Like I have no interest in that,
Right.
but what are the main things? The main things is stay away from the seed oils. I think ultra processed food in general is probably the biggest problem. Refined grains, sugar,
Yeah.
seed oils, and they
Yeah.
usually go together.
Yeah.
Yep.
So avoid those. I think I'm not afraid of saturated fat and meat at all. In fact, I think this whole thing about cholesterol is like people don't realize how ridiculous it is. Because when they always say bad, the LDL, the bad cholesterol. Well, LDL is not really just cholesterol. There's only one type of cholesterol molecule. It gets transported around the body in various vessels and stuff. And LDL, low density lipoprotein, is what it stands for, is one vessel in this whole process that cholesterol goes through.
Mm-hmm.
That one brings cholesterol and triglycerides and a couple other things to cells that need it.
Mm-hmm.
So very essential. So it started really bugging me when it was like, oh, just take a statin, lower your LDL, you'll be fine. And I'm like, no, that's not the complete story at all.
Mm.
Your LDL can be less than optimal, and I think from things like seed oils and stuff. So you can have the vessel itself not optimal, which can potentially lead to stuff like plaques. It's not, the science is still not decided on that.
Mm.
The doctors, no one says for sure this is what causes the plaque. There's a
Right.
couple prevailing theories, and then there's some other interesting theories beyond that. So I'm like, okay, you guys don't really know. So, but you just push these statins, it disrupts the pathway that depletes a lot of stuff, like the CoQ10 and uh, the sex hormones, like testosterone,
Yeah.
like in other things. I'm like, I actually believe that kind of high LDL or cholesterol in general is protective for, especially in older people, and
Mm.
that's been shown. So some controversial stuff, but I think to understand it, you have to be willing to read a lot and understand. And it's like that's where it falls apart when you try to talk to people about
So
it.
the why is, you think it's primarily because of some of the things you were eating,
Yeah,
or the how, better yet said.
I mean, because naturally you're thinking, well, diet, you
Right.
know,
You're exercising regularly at this point
yeah,
before the stroke or before the heart attack, right? And so if you're working out regularly, and all of a sudden now you're like, you eat somewhat healthy, you say it in the prologue, you know how you had some weight to lose, but not a whole lot,
mhm.
right? And so what was your end conclusion that you through your research that you found, like how this happened to you?
So, well, keep in mind at the time that it actually happened, the heart attack, I was literally doing the egg white thing, throwing away the yolks. I was doing kashi cereal with
Yeah.
silk, soy milk. I was doing
Yeah.
all that stuff,
Right.
but I was also, frying stuff in canola oil,
Got it.
which will compound that problem of the free radicals and the
Yeah.
byproducts, blah blah blah.
Okay.
So I was following the guidelines really well at the time.
Okay.
Like obviously that didn't help,
Right.
And then when I did my research, so yeah, it kind of changed my eating. My biggest thing was keep exercising, keep pushing yourself smartly,
Mhm.
but avoid the main things. Avoid ultra processed foods.
Okay.
and don't worry about meat and high LDL.
Okay.
And just a side note, because I have to get into the science just a little bit. When the LDL goes out from the liver, um, it's usually packed with some triglycerides, some the fatty acids, and some cholesterol and some other stuff. But those are the two main things that it's carrying, right? And so, how it packs it, the ratio determines a lot on the size of the LDL because it'll go through and it'll deliver triglycerides to cells. I think it does it first, if I'm not mistaken. And as it does that, of course, it'll shrink somewhat. But if it wasn't overpacked with triglycerides, it won't shrink so much, and it'll still be what if you read it all about this stuff they call the big fluffy good LDL.
Right.
So it won't over shrink because it was the ratios were good. Well, if you have a lot of triglycerides packed in there, because your liver has to get rid of them. Like if you get a bunch of it, um, it'll change the ratio, and then as it delivers it, you end up with a small dense LDL, which a lot of the theories of the plaque formation, that's never a good thing, even in across the theories, right? So I'm like, yeah, I don't want my. It's probably a good idea not to have small dense LDL. How do I avoid that? Get your triglycerides down. How do you do that? Well, I know that a lot of carbs can lead to a lot of tries. A lot of alcohol is not good either, and things like that.
Those will cause a reduced LDL.
Yeah, because of too much triglycerides to deal with for your.
The increased carbs or the increased alcohol.
Yeah, both of those can contribute to
Right.
high triglycerides.
Okay.
And so then to summarize what I'm going for, it's like you look at the metabolic syndrome. You've probably heard of that. There's like 5 things. There's like the HDL level, which also corresponds with the ratio of triglycerides to HDL. You want it below 2, let's say. Your waist circumference. I'm still dealing with that. Um, I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, your blood pressure. There's like 5 things.
Right.
And there's easy things to measure. Glucose.
Glucose. Yeah.
It's like you could do. In fact, I call my own labs all the time. And it's pretty cheap. I go right up the street here, and I don't need a doctor, and I could get those numbers anytime I want.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm trying to. I'll feel pretty confident if I get those in line.
Yeah.
So that's what's working for me.
So you talked about getting your blood work back into play, and then you go back to trying to work out again.
Yeah.
And so just briefly talk about that real quick, and talk about some of those concerns, right? I mean, obviously you did the research to figure out like some of the seed oils and some of the things that you were eating were causing some of these issues with your LDL, and were probably compounding that caused this Widowmaker to happen, right?
Mhm.
Now you're trying to get back into the normal swing of things, or whatever normal is for you now after this Widowmaker. What was some of the fears that you had going into going to back workout? Like, am I going to freaking have a stroke doing thrusters again? Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was at first I was afraid to walk up a little hill.
Got it.
I was afraid,
Yeah.
and I had like a little thing monitoring my heart rate. I was like, was that? I never
Yeah.
felt the things I had felt before, but I was hypersensitive about anything that I thought I felt,
Right.
and I was very fearful.
The psyche of it
Yeah.
all.
Oh, the
yeah.
psyche was. I mean, I joke around a lot, but a lot of the stuff is really deep. Like it's hard to deal with because you're on edge. Like, is it gonna happen again? And this time I'm gonna die, or they're gonna
Yeah.
crack me, whatever. So I went through a period of that, and I remember the worst incidents of that. It was just a couple months after my heart attack. We had a Tahoe trip planned with my in-laws too, and my wife and kids. We were all up in Tahoe. And at that point, I'm taking. I did take statins for a little while. I took everything for a little while,
Mm.
and I had blood thinners,
Mm.
which I'm fine with temporarily because I have stents in there, and I don't know how that affects things.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary thinking there's these little mesh in your artery.
Mm.
So I'm taking everything, and I'm in Tahoe. We're walking along around Incline Village, a little town up there, and I'm like completely out of breath.
Yeah.
Never mind that you're in Tahoe. There's
Yeah.
altitude.
Right, I know the
Yeah.
altitude.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're probably like, oh man, I'm having another one. No, you're at 8,000 feet elevation, buddy. Sorry.
Well, this is the funny thing. I realize
Yeah.
that intellectually,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not too worried, but it's so bad that I'm like, I'll call my doctor. And this is
Okay.
why I don't know. I don't want to I don't want to come off as too anti-doctor. They saved my life with the stents. There's a lot of good stuff, but sometimes the things they do and say drive me nuts because I called in and I don't even think I got the doctor. I probably got a PA or somebody, and they're like, "Oh," I told them what's going on. I was like, "Oh, go to the ER."
Yeah.
Of course,
Let's collect
Yeah.
some insurance money.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
100%.
so I end up in the Incline Village ER,
Yeah.
ruin everyone's day, ruin my day.
Yeah.
End up costing a lot too, and so they do all the tests, and then I'm gonna go to Reno or not. End up not, but I was there for like hours, and the bottom line is it's the combination of the blood thinners with the altitude.
Got it.
Easily explains
While
what
you're
I was
extremely
feeling.
out of breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it scared the crap out of me, and then it ended up in Encinitas ER one time also because I was afraid and thought I'd feel
Yeah.
stuff.
So you get out of this incident out of the Tahoe situation, and now here we are. So this was 10 years ago. When did you start working out again? And by then I'm assuming you jumped into MROC.
Yeah. Yeah. So finally, I guess at some point I just got tired of it all and thinking, you know what, it saved my life. I got to start. And so I did start, and I did get back to MROC
Mm.
at some point, probably 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like doing my stuff. And
Wait a minute. You were at MROC when all this shit happened? Or did you do MROC after all this stuff happened?
I think I'd started MROC by then because I remember I saw MROC because I'd done like at least 3 or 4 Spartan races.
Prior to the heart attack.
Yeah, and I'd seen their booth,
Yeah.
and so I can't. It's either real close to that or
Got it.
I think I was though. I think I was
Yeah.
there prior.
Yeah.
Well, it had to have been based on when you and I were working out together at Nimrod.
Yeah.
That would have been,
Yeah.
That would have been roughly the same
10 years
same
ago.
window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. And so
'Cause-
you
Yeah, because I remember. Spartan.
Spartan back then was at its peak.
Yeah, and they found out. I mean, because they sent a thing out, and I just mentioned what happened. They give me stories, and like, oh, I got this, and so they jumped on it, and I ended up doing 2 news stories with the San Diego, like CBS and ABC or NBC.
Yeah.
Jeff Zeverly way, the guy's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
But they did one at MROC too. They came out and filmed me
Mm-hmm.
and did a story, and then they did a story. I was at Guahoming with Zeverly. That was really fun. So I had a couple stories
Yeah.
done. So by then I was back at MROC.
Yeah, I do remember this now. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
I was at MROC when they did the story there at the MROC.
Yeah.
Oh, when the guy came by.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that now.
Back then, well, that's where you and I met, but I was only at MROC for a short period of time, and you didn't have hair.
Oh yeah, that's the alopecia part. There's a little side thing of alopecia too,
Yeah.
which is So I remember even before the heart attack, I was getting little patches,
Yeah.
even maybe a little bit in my head, but not
Yeah.
so much. And at some point afterwards, it just started all going, and it was like I had mange.
Yeah.
So I just shaved what little was left, and I was bald for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of when it starts. Yeah, it's an autoimmune thing, right? And maybe that's related to the heart attack too. Who knows?
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. I mean, nobody knows. I don't know anything for sure, and I don't claim to.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people do. But very interesting that I'm also getting an autoimmune condition.
Huh.
So that's when I did manage to go carnivore, pretty strict for a couple months. Which is for me, that's saying a lot because I'm not. It's really hard for me to stick to stuff. I don't have the type of discipline or personality or something. even though I know I should, but I try. But I did pretty well at that point. I lost weight and I started getting my hair back, and I pretty much got my hair back now. There's
Yeah.
still like some eyebrows haven't fully come.
Yeah.
And that's what hooked me up with Dr. Sean Baker, because
Yeah.
so it's like an elimination diet,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of theories of
Yeah.
gluten or something else going through your intestinal, the leaky gut stuff that you
Yeah.
probably heard about. But I think there's something to it because it seemed to work for me.
I don't think there's a one diet for everyone. That's the thing that we talked about polarization, and we talked about like the cause of your Widowmaker. We talk about the cause of like your autoimmune stuff and like all these things as you get back into fitness. I want to make sure that I'm clear in communicating that, and because at the end of the day, there's not one diet for everyone. And that's the part that you talk about. Like, don't want to sit there and go, well, I did carnivore because this is this, this, and that, and everybody should be doing carnivore. No. Like, at the end of the day, if you put me on a low carb or no carb diet, there's going to be a lot of violence in the world.
Starting right here.
Yeah. Starting right now.
This area right here.
Yeah. And so, like, at the end of the day, I mean, it's what's best for you and your body type, right? And what you're going to be doing, what your goals are, what your objectives are. We've had some nutritional coaches on here already talking about 72-hour fasts and doing all that stuff, right? And at the end of the day, it's basically, what is your goal? What is you trying to accomplish? You are what you eat, right? And if you're somebody that has a history of heart attack or an autoimmune, then you might want to look at an elimination diet, because there may be something. I have a coach on my team now who has extreme allergies to things. And so she went vegan for 10 years, and then she started training and realized that she could not keep doing vegan diets because it cost too much money, and it was just too much time, and it was too hard, and she wasn't getting enough protein. And so now she went back to introducing meat into her diet. And so that's the point that I'm trying to make. Even if you're going through all of this stuff and you're getting through it, and you're figuring out how, or you have a generalized idea of what happened, and you're going to talk about it in the book. But at the end of the day, when it comes to nutritional stuff, in my opinion, and just from my professional opinion, I think there's not a one-size-fit-all. What are you trying to accomplish? And let's figure that out. And then we can kind of tweak your food from that perspective, right? But there's just so many other factors that come into play, like you just mentioned right now. I'm not a person that sticks with things, right? I'm a person that likes to emotionally or stress eat. I could not be hungry, but I'm so freaking stressed. I'm looking in the freaking pantry at freaking 10 o'clock at night. Why am I looking in the pantry? I've already eaten 4 times a day, right? And so those are the things, like when you talk about those kind of things as you grow from this scenario. But when I want to wrap this up, when is the book scheduled to be out?
Yeah, I think I will give people I sent it out to maybe another week. And at that point, I should have everything I need to go through the publishing process. So I'd like it to be definitely within a month from today.
Wow.
Which is what, June something?
Yeah.
June 4th, yeah.
June 4th.
June 4th, yeah.
Yeah.
May the June 4th be with you. That doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
June 4th.
No,
Yeah. So
June 4th is today, right? And we're looking at, we're talking, so you want it a month from now, July 4th.
yeah, I
And
want.
so you want to be independent.
I want to be independently done with
On Independence Day. Got it.
And by the way, so people I set up a little website, not much on it yet, but it'll have a link to the book. It has a link to a podcast with John Baker on it now, and I'll add this, of course.
Absolutely.
But it's just Widowmaker, or Warrior to Widowmaker, TO, not the number, but the word TO, .com. Warrior to Widowmaker, Widowmaker to Warrior.com.
Widowmaker to warrior.com.
I guess it's a little bit of a tongue
twister. Yeah.
It's all right. We'll put that in the show notes so people can actually see it and click on the link.
of
And
course.
are you doing anything on social media?
I have Instagram for that as well.
Okay.
I don't know what I was like. I don't want to be like an influencer that's posting all the time, but I I would like to get more into it in some way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and by the way, like we talked about some of the book, there's a lot of stuff in there. You know, my experience with the going to Costa Rica with the podcast I did, and just going forward. And then there's some stuff like some core principles I provided. And so like someone wants to think, well, what should I do? I put what I think you should do, and I do try to keep them pretty non-dogmatic, but but there's some things like the ultra processed food. I will argue
Yeah.
that with almost
100%.
anybody.
100%.
Yeah, and most
Right.
people would. So
So here's my suggestion to you: get on social media and
Mhm.
just turn on your live and talk for 5 minutes.
yeah,
You don't have to be an influencer to do that, dude.
yeah,
At the end of the day, somebody wants to hear your freaking voice or hear your story. And so do that so that, people can kind of like get your name out there, dude, and get the name of this book out there. Because there's somebody out there looking for some kind of advice that just went through a major Widowmaker and they survived it.
yeah.
Like-
And I got to add one thing. I didn't know if I was going to mention this, but because I know a lot of people are could go through this, are going through this, and I really do want to help people, and I think I can help people. But it was about less than a month ago. No, I had a father-in-law for 36 years. I mean, yeah, divorced, but he's still my father-in-law. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
You're married for 36
Yeah.
years. He's going to be forever
Yeah,
your father.
I love him
Yeah.
like everything. But he got up in the morning the other day. He's 78, I think. He said, "I feel funny," claps, and he died. I mean, that just happened, and they haven't got the autopsy back. I suspect strongly that he probably had a heart attack. And, maybe not, but I have several friends, some that have damage after they had a Widowmaker. Now they got to be careful. They're compromised. So yeah, I think the book's pretty entertaining, but it's also at least get you thinking. Go with what you think is right, but question everything too.
Yeah.
Don't just. I think there's a lot of wrong advice in the mainstream, and that's not being controversial. It just makes so much sense. So
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah.
Well,
Guy, thanks for coming in, man, and sharing your story. And yes, we will put links on the website and to your Instagram in the show notes so people can click on that and everything else.
I want one thing that's
Mhm.
going to make you a warrior for the next 365. One thing, and then we'll end it on that.
Okay.
What is it going to be? I'm asking you, what's your next warrior thing that you're going to do?
Well, I've signed up for a Decamile.
Okay.
That's kind of the next thing where I'm going to push myself. It's in August, so I'm at your gym. I had a little injury. I'm getting over it. I'm going to keep on it. Just the day to day, and I want to hopefully do well at that and
Decamile.
progress from there. Yeah.
I like it. All right.
Nice. Well,
We'll take one foot forward.